Parliament expected to adopt a report today recommending that an ad hoc committee is established to investigate claims that were made by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi with a 90-day timeline to complete its work. Among the issues members of Parliament want probed are allegations that embattled Police Minister Mchunu had a corrupt relationship with Brown Mogotsi and whether he misled Parliament. The committee has resolved to proceed with this inquiry despite the ongoing investigations by the Judicial Commission of Inquiry and the Public Protector. For more on this, let's try and gather our thoughts now. Qaanitah Hunter, senior reporter, joining us now. Qaanitah, it's so much information. So make it, let's bring it down to understandable bits. So the committee is now established, I would think. What is the next process?
So it's a formal process that has to happen by the end of the sitting of Parliament now, where just MPs vote on the adoption of this report. So the committee met. They've decided this is how the ad hoc committee will be set up. This is the committees on police and justice came together. They got advice from Parliament's legal committees and said, okay, if we are going to have our own probe, what is it going to look like? They agreed to that, and then it will be tabled to Parliament to say, right, here's the green light, go ahead. That will happen in the next few hours or so, once the budget process is done.
Okay, just before you move on that, you mentioned two committees.
Yes.
The Speaker, when she proposed this initially, she had three committees in mind, including the Joint Intelligence.
Yes.
Is that going to still be part of these, or is it just two committees now?
It's these committees, and the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence will do their own probe. There are some matters that will fall out of it. Now, in the deliberations about what exactly are they probing, the consideration was this: should Parliament wait for the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by President, that will be headed up by Acting Deputy Chief Justice Nhlanhla to complete its work? Or does Parliament have the responsibility and, by law, constitutionally obligated to act in relation to the accusations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi? It was decided that while it will be important for Parliament to play an oversight, not an oversight role, but a watch role in relation to the Commission, because obviously that report is going to come back to the Speaker. That's where the President said it must go. Yeah. At the end of the day, it cannot sort of watch over the work of another branch of the state. And Parliament's responsibilities still stand in holding the executive accountable and playing that its own watchdog role. Then the question was, all right, the allegation insofar as Mchunu will be probed by the Public Protector in relation to the Executive Ethics Management Act, the EMEA probe by the Public Protector. So what would then be the role of Parliament? And it was deliberated based on past experiences where Parliament folded its hands and said, well, we'll wait for the ongoing probes and then we'll make our decisions, to say Parliament cannot abdicate its responsibilities. These are serious accusations. But the important part is what would be the scope of this probe, this ad hoc committee that would come together. It will have representatives from all political parties based on a proportional representative system, and they would be given 3 months to do their work. And they have now come up with a list of things that they want to be probed. Ian Cameron is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police. He told us, some things that they want this committee to zoom in on. Let's take a listen.
On the closing or the alleged disbanding of the political killing task team. We will specifically look into political interference in operational matters of the South African Police Service, matter regarding the over 120 dockets that were allegedly moved through political instruction by the Deputy National Commissioner.
All right, so that's the chair of the Police Portfolio Committee in Parliament. So where to now?
So obviously now that green light, they're waiting for Parliament, and then they will set up the ad hoc committee, and the process will start. It's quite interesting to see what matters they decided to include in their scope and what not to. The issues around police management, the issues around ongoing police cases, for example, as you mentioned, one Mr. Molefe, etc. Those fall outside the ambit of this particular investigation. This has a lot to do with Senzo Mchunu. Yeah. It has a lot to do with his relationship with Brown Mogotsi and whether or not there was a corrupt relationship, and more specifically whether he lied to Parliament. You'd remember Senzo Mchunu was asked about this, and he said he had no relationship with Brown Mogotsi. And so if he is found to lie to Parliament, there's a very specific sanctionable process that unfollows with regards to ethics, because remember, Senzo Mchunu still remains a member of Parliament. Now, just one last consideration is that this particular committee has said that if there should not be a duplication. While, yes, Mkhwanazi's allegations were wide and matters will fall over each other, at the end of the day, they must not seek to duplicate the work of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, but they must seek to get specific answers. And I think they moved in this regard to be very specific about what their scope is so that they can wrap up their work in a 3-month period, or at least try to do so.
Well, it seems that everything is lined up. We shall see where or what is revealed in that committee. For the time being, Qaanitah Hunter, thank you very much for explaining that so well.